GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up. We're Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude.
he? How good is he? Let's get it, baby. GMGP. It is Monday, August 25th, 2025. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself and my brother from another mother. Y'all know who it is. The Canadian himself, Jordan Richards, is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on the channel. And the people are in the building. Big show, big trades, big news. And JRich, football is back, baby. Preseason over. Preseason is over. College football starts this weekend. Like everybody's playing. I know we had Iowa State.
Come on.
Hey, I know we had Iowa State, Avery Johnson and Rocco back. I know we had some UNLV, Stanford, Hawaii. OGQ was watching all of it. But the big dogs play this weekend. Jeremiah Smith, Arch Manning, Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Big Nuts Bus, JRich. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, baby. Who we got in the building? Savage Fantasy Football. What's up, baby? What's up, Lee? What's popping with you, man? Hope everything is going good with the site. We got Seth in the building. GMGP, new season. Let's go. Rolling with Johnny. What's popping with you, baby? Adam, Zaff, JR Enterprise, Jimbo, James Young, J Jack. Zach, what's popping with you? I saw somebody giving OGQ some love in here, JRich. I got to find it. I'm scrolling up. I got it. Here it is, JR Enterprise. Thank you, Ray, for Ollie Gordon. Wasn't taking any early. You suggested took 14%, 27%. Jacory Croskey-Merritt. I got the 37% on my own. There we go, baby. There we go. Ollie Gordon, JRich. How you doing this morning, man? I got that Samsung TV blasting in the background. Let me turn this off.
I was going to say, hopefully you can get your TV sorted out while I do my little intro. But happy to be here. Happy that preseason is over. Of course, we're going to be talking about all things preseason week 3. We have some news to get into as well with some big trades, some moves being made, and of course, our final thoughts on the preseason. And last but not least, Ray, cut down day is going to be on Tuesday, so a lot of players will be moved, a lot of players finding new homes. I don't know if you saw the Ben DiNucci tweet of his beer in the airport after being cut for the 7th time.
I did not
Most
see
of
that.
us just do not understand. It was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Shout out to Ben DiNucci with his time in Dallas. But how are you doing, my friend?
Good, man. Good. Had a long weekend. Went and saw my new niece. My little sister had her 3rd child, so I went to hang out with my niece Emery. So that was good. And now we're back in the saddle, man. All the preseason games are over. We got those joints out of the way. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then we got big trades happening in the NFL. Got a lot of stuff going on, man. I'm excited for football. I'm really, really excited for college football this season. I think it's one of those years where the names and the common names, and you get excited, when it's like Justin Fields has been there for a while and Trevor Lawrence. Like this year, it's a lot of unknowns. So I think it's going to open up the door for some new names, people to be introduced to some new players. And then for a lot of us who play fantasy football, you just kind of get excited, start to wrap your head around what this upcoming class will look like. So really excited about the Ohio State-Texas game, LSU versus Clemson. We got some big dogs playing this weekend, but that will be more so for our Wednesday show. So Wednesday show, we're going rookie mocks, college football stuff, any NFL relevant news as well. But that's going to be the big college football day in season. Today, JRich, it's all preseason week 3 takeaways, the final kind of look at what these teams might roll out on the field prior to week 1. And there were a couple of teams that played their starters, that played them and played them well. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Kansas City, Chicago, but we're going to talk about that. For about a quarter and a half, that felt like a real game. They had their big dogs out there for about a quarter of NFL action. So there were some actionable takeaways that we'll discuss in that one. We will absolutely talk about old Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns drama going on there. We got some backup running backs that we got to touch on, some veteran players. I'm excited for the show, man.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. I think the funny thing about that KC and Chicago game, and honestly the 3-week preseason as a whole, it used to be so structured where like they'd play a little bit, then they'd play a lot, then they'd play the most, and then they'd be off the final week. Now it's just like chaos. I don't know which games to watch. I don't know who's playing the stars versus who isn't. I just wish it was a bit more regimented and kind of what we expected, but it was good to see that because that was probably the most we saw starters play outside of maybe what we saw in Cleveland this week as well, because Flacco and the starters did play quite a bit there. But we saw a whole quarter from Mahomes and like almost a full half from the Chicago Bears starting offense as well, which is pretty crazy overall.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, if anybody missed the show, Scott Connor and I, from a dynasty perspective, over here we kind of talk real NFL mixed with some fantasy football, but on the DDFFB channel is straight fantasy football, dynasty fantasy football redraft. Last night, Scott and I, we had a show, Destination Chill, preseason week 3 takeaways, moves to make before the season. It just turned into a big dynasty strategy, state of the dynasty fantasy football game over on DDFFB. So if you're a member, you get this show. If not, I think it drops tomorrow morning, JRich. So just make sure you're tapped in tomorrow morning for Scott and I. We went about an hour and a half just talking through all things dynasty fantasy football, 2026 class stuff. Quarterbacks are up on the channel. Running backs are going to go up later today. I put it up, JRich, and the copyright got your boy, man. So we had to get that down. I don't need that copyright strike on YouTube, but excited for the 26 class, excited for all of that. So just subscribe, like. If you're here for the first time, we have a good time every single time we are live on the show. But JRich, let's start with a big trade. I know in the show notes I've got some injury stuff. We'll move back to injury news. Jay Jackson, blessings to you. Jay in the chat said, just had my third little one on Friday, man. God bless you. Hope everything went well, and he or she are doing great along with you and mama, and you're still up. Just had one on Friday, and he's up bright and early on Monday morning. It's that dad life. Them women talk about all they have to go through. Look at us. Look at Jay. Look what he had to. He had to help his wife get through birth, and he still showed up at 8 a.m. to be here, man. That is dead-a-damn-cation right there. But Jay, we had a big trade. We had a big trade from a big running back going to a spot that produces big fantasy points. A lot of bigs going on. But Big B-Rob, Brian Robinson, was traded after all the speculation and the rumor. He got his ass shipped off to the West Coast. He's going to San Francisco, and now he will be the backup running back to Christian McCaffrey. Brian Robinson traded to the San Francisco 49ers. So let's start with B-Rob. The trade from Washington kind of was rumored and speculated he was on the move. Miami, the Saints, the Cowboys. Kyle Shanahan said, we need him. Bring him on over. We need another bell cow in the backfield just in case some shit happens with Christian McCaffrey. So I'm watching this social media timeline, man, and I keep seeing people having to clarify that this isn't bad for Christian McCaffrey. Like, his job is still safe. First of all, you're taking it too damn far. Nobody should think that Christian McCaffrey's job is in jeopardy by bringing Brian Robinson over a few days before the start of the season. But from his perspective, Jay, I'll tell you, when I saw this and heard it, I thought this was about the best case that could have happened for him, honestly. I thought this was probably one of the best landing spots. Once you wrap your head around you're not a starter anymore, going to Miami and he ain't making nobody miss anyway. So trying to juke and get all that stuff behind the Miami line, it was only a matter of time before Ollie Gordon overtook him. So there were very few spots where Brian Robinson was realistically going to get moved to where he could have some value at some point. And in San Francisco, we know this is like the RB Rainmaker situation. It doesn't matter. Jordan Mason was a damn fullback at Georgia Tech, and San Francisco got him paid and traded to be a 1B to Aaron Jones in Minnesota. Talk about B-Rob trade to the 49ers, man.
Well, it's funny that you call it the running back Rainmaker heaven, whatever you want to call it in San Francisco. And I think my one counterpoint to that would be, but don't all those running backs have some juice, like a little bit of juice? Even Christian McCaffrey, his advanced age and what we expect from this season in terms of what we've seen in the past, like, he's probably still faster than Brian Robinson Jr. And he can probably still hit the hole and read those zone plays and hit the hole at the right time better than Brian Robinson can. And so that's my only concern with him is he going to be able to really deliver? Let's say Christian McCaffrey gets injured out for the season. It's B-Rob time. And everyone starts trading all these draft picks to get him. Oh, B-Rob's the guy, B-Rob's the guy. But is he fast enough and have the ability to where he can actually make those big plays? Because where San Francisco is great is they obviously run that zone read, and if you can hit the hole, you can go all the way to the end zone. We've seen Raheem Mostert and even Jordan Mason, guys that are relatively fast and can make
Jordan
that
Mason's
move.
not... I'm not worried about his
Relatively
straight line
fast.
speed. He's fine, man.
But you have to be able to hit the
fine,
hole.
dude.
I don't know if B-Rob can do that even at this stage of his career. My better question to you is,
At
do you
this
think,
stage of his career?
well, if he was so good, why would they cut him and trade him away?
I didn't say he was so good, but you're talking about him like he's a 42-year-old running back on his last legs, man. Like at this stage of his career.
This is a running back that you didn't think was very good at Alabama when he was 21 years old. And now
we're going back.
25,
Now we're going back.
26.
We're going back 5 years. We're going back 5 years.
The fact that you've never thought he was very explosive, very talented as a rusher. He made his way into the league and was a fine running back for some years. But let's not pretend like this guy's got all these shoes we're talking about. The question for me to you is, do you think that he is a threat at all to Christian McCaffrey in terms of his touches every week? Zero.
No.
Because I would somewhat disagree. I think B-Rob can be a between the 20s
Hold on,
asset
man.
for
Hold
the
on, man.
49ers.
So is he fast enough or not fast enough to play? So he's a threat to Christian McCaffrey's workload, but he's not fast enough to do anything. This doesn't make sense.
I'm not saying that he can't have touches in the offense. I think he will have touches in the offense. But do you think it's still going to be the Christian McCaffrey show and B-Rob is basically on the bench, maybe 3-4 carries a game? Or do you think there's a world where B-Rob could maybe have 7-8 carries in a game and you're not giving Christian McCaffrey 20 plus every single week? That to me is the difference between Christian McCaffrey as an RB1 and maybe a back end RB1.
No. Here's what I think. I think because soon as he was brought over, Kyle Shanahan immediately said, you're the RB2. And this was before Guerendo got banged up and was playing in the damn third preseason game. Isaac Guerendo can't be trusted. That his issue coming out of Wisconsin, he doesn't stay healthy. He's done. Like, not done, but Brian Robinson is the RB2 in this offense. Here's what I think. I'm going to give you two sort of scenarios, okay? The first scenario is he is just strictly the backup running back. And if, he comes in, like you say, gets few carries a game, spells Christian McCaffrey, gets a few touches, but he's strictly the backup running back. The other scenario, which kind of trickles into the overall just sort of state of San Francisco, Jay, is they are hurting at wide receiver significantly, right? It's like every day another player that they bring in to catch the ball goes down, gets injured, gets replaced, something happens, right? Is there a world where Christian McCaffrey, you're talking about at this stage of his career, coming off of the strained calf, the Achilles tendonitis, is there a world where they're like, you know what? We want to use you in the most efficient way possible. We're going to throw you the damn ball 10 times a game. You're still going to get your touches out of the backfield, but we are not going to damage you with between the 20s inefficient touches up the gut. Let's bring him in to spell you in some of that area, use you in space, whether that's prime Austin Eckler, a souped-up version of Alvin Kamara, where Christian McCaffrey, like I'm talking real just football stuff, right? We're not going to blast you up the A-gap 9 times a game. We're pulling those away. You might get 3 of those, give the other 6 of those touches to Brian Robinson, and you are going to do these things right here. Just efficiency monster, receptions galore. He's a 100 reception guy. He's still doing his stuff out of the backfield, but they just pull back on the overuse workload. Now, does Shanahan historically do that? I'm not the play caller. I'm not the San Francisco guy. But just thinking through some real football stuff, this is a team that, regardless of what we think about how strong they are as a true viable playoff contender, it's not a rebuilding squad. They're not there trying to rebuild and take it slow. So it's probably beneficial to make sure that your stud on offense, the engine of your team, is healthy down the stretch, right? They're not playing fantasy football like we are. Let's make sure Christian is ready come week 18, week 19, week 20 as we go on a playoff run. Is there a world where they brought him in to really relieve some of that pressure from Christian McCaffrey? And Jordan Mason is not some athletic specimen. He wasn't. Like, him and B-Rob are very close to one another. And at this stage of his career, yes, he could still find the hole, hit the hole, and in a successful scheme, find success. Like, I think those are the two. And I'm just me. My personal opinion is they brought him in to take some of that pressure off of Christian to keep him healthy, to let him be efficient, to thrive in space, not to blast him up the A and B gap multiple times a game, which he's going to get that. But I think he's there to really take the pressure off of CMC and let him be what he does best. And part of that is necessity. It's George Kittle and Ricky Pearsall. DeMarcus Robinson suspended 3 games. Every other receiver injured. Jawan Jennings, whether it's real or not, they're threatening to put him on IR. So that's sort of what I think. Do I? Yeah, they are. They came out today or last night and say, hey, we're going to put you on IR if you don't get your ass into camp. Get out here. But that's what I think this move was predicated for, was like, we can't give him all of that like that anymore and expect him to be healthy. Find somebody that can take the inefficient stuff away from him and let CMC do what he does best. Be great in space. Get those opportune touches. That's my thought, man.
Yeah, I mean, but Ray, that's basically what I was saying. It's just, that's where, when you say he's going to take those between the 20s touches, like, that's what I think B-Rob could do and be effective for this team. But you're saying that's not going to be a threat to Christian McCaffrey's fantasy production, which
I don't think so. Because a target, we all know targets are worth way more than rush attempts. That is tried, true, proven, undebatable. So this idea that if he loses 75 rush attempts, but he's getting all the, like, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to diminish him.
But you can't gain opportunities by being on the sidelines, right? So, like, while I agree with you, I don't know if B-Rob being in the equation takes him from 75 receptions to 65 receptions. It's probably not going to move the needle at all, right?
No.
But in terms of rushing attempts, that will scale back his production slightly, simply because he's not on the field. Even those 0.4 points, that 0.5 points, and maybe the odd run where B-Rob rips off a 20-yard run or a 30-yard run. That's not supposed to be a touchdown, but it's very well blocked and he takes it to the house. Like, those are runs that Christian McCaffrey is going to benefit from. But to say that you don't think it's going to scale back his production while also him not being on the field, I think is, again, it's splitting hairs, because we're talking about the very high end of fantasy football where volume does matter. He's still going to be great. He's still going to catch a lot of passes, but him having B-Rob in the backfield is not going to change how many catches he ultimately has in a season, because that's not going to be his role in the offense. So I do think it hurts him a little bit, but as you mentioned, it's not going to be a lot, because it's mostly going to be the low value touches from a fantasy perspective. But I think, at least for people who are drafting him, let's say 105, 106, 107, do you have any concerns that now he's not the locked-in only guy in town? B-Rob is going to be a factor, and so he's not in a split backfield, but would you still take him at that hot? You'd still take him right at that spot.
I wasn't taking him at 105. I wasn't taking him at 105 anyway.
But that's not where people were taking him.
No,
so where would you take him?
No, it's not. He's like back of the first. He's at the, I'm telling you where they're taking him now.
His ADP hasn't been at the back of the first pretty much the whole offseason. You're saying, people take him at the back of the first.
Well, he's not 105 because it's Bijan, it's Jamar Chase, it's CeeDee Lamb, it's Saquon Barkley. It's not him. He's not there. He's like 8. I just did a DraftKings draft right before this. He was picked 110.
Okay.
I don't think it affects him at all, because he's going to he's catching all the passes out of the backfield. He's going to be used in the receiving game, and he could be efficiency monster. My question to you is, B-Rob, is he the top backup running back in the NFL? Would you rather have any?
Absolutely not.
Would you rather have any? Okay, absolutely not. Well, let's go. Brian Robinson, or who's the backup running back? Would you rather have Brian Robinson, top backup running back in the NFL, in the Shanahan offense, Brian Robinson or Trey Benson?
I'd probably have Brian Robinson.
I'd have B-Rob over Benson as well. Brian Robinson versus who's another true backup running back in the NFL? Brian Robinson or Roschon Johnson?
I mean, Roschon Johnson's not even the backup on his own team.
Whoever
Give me Kyle Monangai, baby. No. I will take Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson over the Chicago Bears backups. Would you take B-Rob over the primary backup in Houston? Dameon Pierce or Woody Marks? Brian Robinson or Woody Marks?
I would take Brian Robinson. I don't think either of those guys are good enough.
Who else is a backup? Brian Robinson or Charbonnet?
See, that's
even though
you're getting into
even
a
though
real
Sharbs
backup.
Even though I would venture to say he's more 1B than a true backup.
I know you view him as a 1B, but
I
he
think
is
he's
a backup, and he is probably the best backup running back in fantasy. And I would also say on the West Coast, and I think that Blake Corum would also be a
over
better
B-Rob.
Backup running back over B-Rob.
Blake Corum over B-Rob.
I think if Kyron gets hurt, maybe we see a bit of Jarquez Hunter, but again, I thought we'd see a bit more from him this preseason, and he hasn't really shown a lot. And we saw a bit of Blake Corum, and then he was shut down after that. And so that kind of tells me that I think that he's the primary backup.
Okay.
And if Kyron does get hurt, we'd rather have Corum over anyone else.
B-Rob or Rico Dowdle?
That's tough. I think Rico Dowdle would be pretty good in that offense. Give me Rico Dowdle. I like him more than B-Rob.
B-Rob or Will Shipley? Come on.
I'm taking B-Rob. I just don't think Will Shipley would have a big role.
And the last one, B-Rob or Ollie? We'll talk Ollie later.
I think you have to take B-Rob. And I do want to give a shout out to Algier. Someone did say him in the chat.
Algier.
I do think Algier would be very
That's a good one.
Like, as a backup running back that no one talks about, Algier is 100% in contention because I don't even know who Algier's backup is.
Ray Davis.
Right? So if
Ray
Davis is another good name too.
I would take B-Rob over Ray Davis. I'm taking B-Rob over Ray Davis.
I think it's
close.
About
you?
I think it's close because Ray Davis would probably catch some passes. I don't think he'd carry the ball as much as B-Rob. I might be willing to take Ray Davis there.
Okay. All right. I see. Bruce said, shout out to Bruce Madsen, man. Bruce is one of my dogs, man.
Braylon Allen Ray or Brian Robinson.
I think
That's
Braylon.
another good name from the chat.
I would take Braylon Allen over Brian Robinson. I would take Braylon Allen.
Backup to your point about Charbonnet.
I think Charbonnet has proven he's more 1B so far than Allen. I think Allen is going to do it, and he's going to.
Expect him to be, yeah.
I expect him to be the 1B, but if I had to say, like, true, this San Francisco offense is dope. I'm not worried. I was skeptical on Jordan Mason last year. If he plays, I think Shanahan is good enough at making it happen for the running backs. The scheme is designed. It's tailor-made for running backs. So I think he's morphed into and moved into one of the premium backup running backs in the NFL, no doubt about it. I do not believe that he is some threat. Sure, I think he will pull touches away from Christian McCaffrey, but it's all the inefficient shit that we don't care about. As long as CMC's on the field and receiving down work, I think we're just good. We are just fine with Christian McCaffrey. No issues with him at all. None.
B-Rob or Scattaboo?
As a backup running back, I'm taking Brian Robinson, man. I mean, I'm taking B-Rob over Scat Pack. I'm taking B-Rob over Scat Pack.
Sean Tucker's another interesting name. If Rashad White is like out still.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm taking Brian Robinson. I mean, Kyle Shanahan already came. We're excited to have him. This is our guy. Garindo is gone. And I don't think Jordan James is dead. I think the rookie, he just missed time. He was hurt. I don't know if he's still banged up. But that was that's what was going on with Jordan James, man. Jay, we had some injury news. Jauan Jennings. This is let me pull it up. Jauan Jennings has been hurt. He's looking for a new contract. I don't know what's going on, but here's what 13 hours ago. Here's 13 hours ago, our San Francisco 49ers, that's the Twitter account, our San Francisco 49ers, put this out here, and I'll read this. Let me show it on the screen. Let me show this on the screen. Here it is right here. Jauan Jennings' lingering calf injury and contract stalemate could possibly get him placed on the IR. There's growing frustration on both sides as Jennings continues to miss practice with a calf injury, and the 49ers management continues to show little interest in restructuring his contract and giving him a big payday raise for the second time in little over a year. He's been out all training camp. No damn Jauan Jennings, I ain't coming. All right, my calf hurts. Calf is injured. They're like, look, man, you want to keep playing these games? We're going to put your ass on IR. What are your thoughts here? They're not going to pay Juwan. They're not going to pay Juwan Jennings.
They're not going to pay him.
They're not going to pay Juwan Jennings.
Because the day before, Kyle Shanahan told reporters that he expects Juwan Jennings, who's missed training camp due to a calf injury, to be available week 1 versus Seattle. So how did it go from the previous day, Shanahan at the podium saying he thinks Jennings can be ready for week 1, to now we're going to put him on IR? And Ray, the best part about this is that obviously they didn't say this. It didn't come from San Francisco, but this is clear manipulation by the 49ers to say, if you're not going to practice, guess what, buddy? We're going to put you on IR
100%.
so you can't play
100%. Now I'm going to screw you over.
So he'll be out 4 games. He'll be on active pup.
Good night.
Because it's 53 spots plus the 2 active pup spots, at which point they'll miss 4 games. But that's just so petty. Like, does an NFL franchise really have the ability to, the affordability as a team with all these injuries they have to put this guy on pup so he can't play?
Listen, it's a petty league. Look at Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons laying down. It is, dude. Yes, it is petty season in the NFL in these billion-dollar companies. Some more injury news. JRich, your boy Najee Harris apparently is he's on track, and the GM is the GM, not the coach, not the medical doctors. The GM says he is on track, and I think he should be able to hopefully go in week 1.
Really instilling that confidence. I think, and I'm hopeful, that a dude with one eye open is able to play for week 1. Ray, what is your confidence that Najee Harris will play in week 1? And let's not remember, this game is in Brazil, right? So they got to fly all the way to Brazil. So they'll be leaving probably pretty soon, actually.
Yeah,
like in a week.
I don't know, man. I think it's full steam go on Marion Hampton and Hassan Haskins or whoever else the hell else they have, right? Are you confident that he's going to be out there? I'm not.
I think the only good thing for us is we should probably expect those teams to leave Monday, Tuesday. To get to Brazil early, so we'll know early in advance.
He's traveling with the team. Play. He's traveling with the team.
Yeah, he'll probably
one eye or not.
I guess.
One eye or not. He's traveling with the team.
I'm not buying it, man. Like I'd give it maybe 25% he even hits the field.
Yeah.
And if he does see the field, how much is he going to play?
Yeah.
Like I really don't think there's a great chance of him playing much outside of him just kind of going through the motions with the team. Doing the warm-ups, dressing, kind of just going through a regular week routine. I just don't know if it makes a lot of sense, honestly. He's hardly practiced. New to the system.
I'm not expecting him, Jay.
I hope he's fit, though. Like, I hope at least he's in shape and good from that perspective. But, we've got no updates about this guy's eye at all. It's just
None.
The GM said, well, I think he's fine.
None.
I'm hopeful he's fine.
None.
And that's the more concerning part is that we really don't know where he's at. And maybe he is fine, but it's hard to buy into for week 1 that Najee's going to be the guy. But these are the decisions people got to make.
Yep.
Would you be drafting Hampton as if Najee's not going to play?
I think most people are. His ADP is cooked. Aiden O'Connell, JRich, out 6 to 8 weeks. Aiden O'Connell out 6 to 8 weeks. So I don't know if anybody was expecting him to play, but Aiden O'Connell, rest up, get well. It looks like Cam Miller is going to be the backup quarterback to Geno Smith in Las Vegas come week 1. JRich.
They'll pick someone up, I think.
Yeah, they'll probably pick up a quarterback.
Someone will get cut, right?
Carson Wentz got signed to Minnesota. I picked up to Minnesota.
And then Sam Howell got traded to Philly. Like I told you, DTR wasn't going to be in Philly for very long.
Yes, you did call that one, Jay. The other side of the Brian Robinson trade, Bill Croskey-Merritt, JRich. Are you buying into the fact that Jacory Croskey-Merritt is the bell cow in Washington? I'm looking at people say they're drafting him in the 6th round of FFPC high stakes main event league, 6th round pick, 7th round pick right now, maybe even a little bit higher. Wow. Jacory Croskey-Merritt, this is a vote of confidence in their backfield, right? He did not play. Now, let me be fair. What I saw was he was also leading up to their 3rd preseason game. He was in a non-contact jersey in practice. So I don't know if it was injury. Contact.
That matters.
He was in a non-contact jersey at practice. So I don't know if they held him out as a precaution to whatever injury he had suffered in practice or the preseason game. But he didn't play. It was Chris Rodriguez, Austin Eckler. You know he ain't playing at all in the preseason. So do you think that Jacory Croskey-Merritt, like it's to the moon season? And while I pull up his underdog ADP, I want to see where he's at on UD right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely bullish. You know, we did the Bleacher Report piece on Bill Croskey-Merritt last week, and I had him, I think, as RB 25, 26, like right outside that top 24, behind some established vets that are going to have great roles and in good offenses, more importantly. And that was kind of always the case for me with Croskey-Merritt is like, if you believe he's more of a grinder, which with Austin Eckler there, it seems like that's going to be the case, he could still see 7, potentially 8 touchdowns. It really just depends on how many goal line carries he gets relative to how many Jaden Daniels runs in instead. But there could be a bit of a boom-bust nature with some touchdown upside for Bill Croskey-Merritt, and I think we should probably buy into that because if we're buying into Jaden Daniels, buying into Deebo Samuel, buying into this Washington offense with hopefully an improved offensive line, we should probably buy into their starting running back. Now, the issue is, Ray, is he still a better player for fantasy purposes than Austin Eckler, his own teammate who projects to be the pass-catching running back on this team? And I think that's the problem I have with the price tag, is that while I believe that there could be a great role for him and he's got some upside, definitely some touchdown upside, but is he better than the other player in the backfield with him in Austin Eckler? And I kind of think the answer is no.
Okay, I'm just looking at the chat. Too low. RB1. Way too high for the 6th round for that price. I'm selling the hype. D-Bro's in the building. Shout out to Derek Brown. What's up, D-Bro? D-Bro says the season of Bill. Hunter Joe Green, he's not going to be the starter, but he looks like he's got the most juiced in just a matter of time before Bill gets a heavy workload. Too much hype. Luke says the hype has gone too far. Chris Rodriguez or B-Rob, no injury reported. Okay, so Patrick said no injury reported, but there's video out there with him in a non-contact jersey, so maybe it was just precautionary. They said, hey, we don't need to injure our starting running back. Jay, I'm looking on Underdog right now, and I don't even want to do a would you rather here, but like, is this? It doesn't feel that high. He's RB 36 right now. Let me tell you who he's sandwiched in between: Cam Scatterboo and Brian Robinson. So clearly, it's gonna flip, right? It's gonna flip. The ADP hasn't fully caught up yet. It takes a little bit. You fully expect him to be ahead of Brian Robinson, no doubt about it. Here are the players immediately ahead of him: Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon, Zach Charbonnet, J.K. Dobbins, Jaylen Warren.
I mean, I don't mind ETN over him.
Even though the reports are the Jags are trying to trade one of them, ETN or Bigsby.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know how much legs that had, but trying to trade. You like ETN over Croskey-Merritt right now?
Yeah, I'm still betting on ETN to be the RB1 for the Jags.
Okay, let me go up a little higher. We got Tyrone Tracy, Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson, David Montgomery.
I could take him over Caleb Johnson.
Okay.
The other guys, though, I think it's a toss-up. Like, it depends on how you feel about the players, right? Like, it's very, very tight in that range. And if you believe, maybe you're in. If you're not so in, you think he's a little bit overhyped, then probably you wouldn't. But it's close. And I think at least the reason for me why this is relevant is that it's still a conversation. It's not an immediate no. It's not an immediate no. There's no way in hell. It is close, and there is potential there. I just don't think I'm personally that bullish, but there's definitely a world where he could be there. If you're in, then I think he's definitely a great value.
And then I'm just going to assume you're taking all these guys over him, but I don't want to assume Tony Pollard, Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Swift, James Conner, RJ Harvey. That's where we're going to stop.
Yeah, like that line, he's absolutely below that tier.
He's below this tier. He's below the Monty, Pollard, Pacheco, Swift, Connor tier.
I would say so, yeah.
And he's right in. So, and then right after that, again, it was Caleb, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Tyrone Tracy, Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, like Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. Man, if
they're back to back. They're back to back. They're back to back.
If you're convicted about one of those guys, it'd probably be Jones just because of the pass catching work. Like, that's probably where I lean, even though we know that Jordan Mason's going to be the goal line back. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough. I think Bill right in that range is more than fair. I probably wouldn't put him any higher, though. Wow.
Joe said, someone tried to sell me Bill for Sharps in a second. I wouldn't do it for Sharp. No. Hell no, Joe.
Sharps is basically the next Michael Turner. Like, that's what's going to happen to him.
Like, he's going to go get a starter job? Please, Dallas.
I think so.
Like, after...
He's going into his last year?
Unless Seattle pay... Unless Unless Seattle doesn't re-up Kenneth Walker. Wasn't he a first-round pick, K9, or was he a second-rounder? I think he was a second-round pick when he came out.
I think he was
Walker,
a second-rounder.
I think he was a second-round pick. So this should be year 4, like, for Kenneth Walker. It's contract season. Because,
but they also drafted Sharbs the year after.
Right.
So they'd kind of have to make a decision prior.
They'd have to pick. That's what I mean. They're going to have to pick one or the other. If they let
Walker walk, they'd have to pay Charbonnet because he'd be going into the final year of his deal.
Would you trade away Garindo for Bill? Hell yeah. What?
Ooh.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think you're getting Bill for Garindo.
I don't. Jeff, if you can do that, stop watching the show and go get that done right away. So you're not to the moon on Croskey-Merritt. My football opinion is this. I think he's going to get every opportunity to be kind of the featured running back. Austin Eckler's role is solidified. When he's on the field, he's probably the pass catching back. That's what he does. That's what he did. That's what he's been. He hadn't played a snap in preseason for a reason. We are not going to injure up old Austin Eckler. Rodriguez is the interesting one. Does he play at all? I think he's the bigger problem. If it's just Croskey-Merritt and Eckler, I feel a hell of a lot better. Ray? What's up?
Is ESPN has Chris Rodriguez as the 4th running back on the team. Not even the 3rd running back.
Who's the third
running
guy?
back is Jeremy McNichols. Blast from the past.
Oof.
So maybe, cut candidate, Chris Rodriguez.
Potential cut candidate. So, but you are not to the moon on Croskey-Merritt, but
I think we found like the perfect tier.
You like his opportunity. Okay.
For the price. Like I think if you get him in that tier right below, I think it was the Pacheco tier that you had there.
Yeah,
that's probably a good spot for him. So up a little bit, maybe 3-4 spots, right around the 30s or so. I think that's more than fair, but chances are you probably have to draft him higher than that to get him.
All right, Jay, let's get into some preseason games and takeaways. And I think the most interesting game, the best game from the preseason that we had that kind of told us the most information, or at least gave us a glimpse inside of what the teams may do this upcoming season, was Kansas City and Chicago. I mean, it felt like a real game for at least the first quarter and a half, and then for the Bears, Ben Johnson wasn't happy with that Bears. Your favorite, you can't stand that Ben Johnson always talking about his players, but Ben Johnson was not pleased with the beginning of the Bears offense. But that final drive or two, they ended up getting it together. I'm just going to give you box score stuff, right? There's box score. Caleb Williams was 11 for 15, 113 yards, 1 touchdown, sack 1 time. And I don't know when we've become this sack community, but any sack gets magnified. He took a sack, and that's all I saw. What an egregious sack for loss of 5 yards. Damn the fact that he didn't throw a pick. He just took the sack, ate the play, lived to fight another day. Just blasphemous he took that sack. Swift, 7 carries, 28 yards. Royce Freeman, JRich. Royce Freeman was playing. I didn't even know he was still in the damn NFL. Odunze. People a little concerned about that Odunze after preseason week 2. 5 targets, 3 receptions, 45 yards. He followed up. He had like a 37-yard catch, and then Caleb went right back to him, hit him in the end zone. DJ Moore, 1 catch, 14 yards. Colston Loveland had a target and a catch, but it was clearly prioritized Odunze from the Chicago side. So let's start with the Bears. What are your big takeaways from the Chicago? And I want to give a shout out to Luther Burden, who continues to look good, JRich, and he didn't show up in the stat sheets here because he caught a pass and then he shot the imaginary assault rifle, boom, on the out of bounds. He loaded up that assault. To do? Yeah, he spins the ball in front of the defender, and he shoots the assault rifle, and then the penalty flag comes out. It was offsetting penalty, so it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. But I watched the games. JRich, Burden was out there on the field. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about Chicago going into the season? I feel really good about what we've at least seen from the Bears offense. And the reason why this is important, man, everybody wants a part of this offense. The tight end, receivers, dynasty value, redraft value, Caleb Williams. What are your thoughts here?
Honestly, the biggest takeaway for me is that the Bears looked more human, right? And we saw Caleb have to deal with a bit more adversity in this start because he wasn't very sharp to start the game, and he was having a bit of issues reading the defenses, had to get off his first read a little bit more than we saw in his first performance. But he battled back and he ended strong. And again, it may not be enough to beat a team like the Chiefs, but this team looks like it's going to be much more competitive this season than we saw last year. And honestly, my assessment of Caleb is really just, he seemed like he's much more ready this year than he was last year, and he should. But I think that Ben Johnson, the way he's scheming these players open, is definitely a big part of that as well, right? And so for me, it's just the confidence to believe that Caleb is taking steps forward and moving towards what hopefully is a big season for him, a big season for the Bears, because as you mentioned, we are hoping for massive things from just about every player on this team. And last but not least, when it comes to this Bears team, for me, DeAndre Swift looked good, man. Like, as much as we want to talk about Kyle Monangai and all these other running backs, like, if he's healthy, DeAndre Swift looked good in this game. And if he can stay healthy for the whole season, he'll probably be pretty damn good for fantasy as well.
Yeah, Joe said it. Joe said it. This is why all we need is Caleb to take a big step forward for our favorite Bears skill position. Like, I really think from a redraft perspective, Caleb is being drafted outside of the top 12 quarterbacks. He is fully capable, JRich. I talked about this with Scott last night. This is a quarterback who can absolutely, if he just gets marginally better, JRich, 3,500 passing yards last year, 20 touchdowns, 489. He is capable of 4,000 passing yards and 500 rushing yards. That is well within Caleb Williams' range of outcome. And we kind of just talk about him like he's a complete bum. If he just takes a step forward with Ben Johnson, as Joe said, our skill position players are going to thrive, and he's probably going to be pretty damn good for fantasy football. I'm excited about Caleb this year. I'm excited about this offense. Keegan is saying Olamide Zaccheaus cost is best value. When I talked about Zaccheaus, everybody poo-pooed old GQ. Ain't no way. There's no chance. He's just a bum. He's not going to play. I got shit on. Left, right, upside down, all over the place. And now he's a good value and a good cost. Even though we all know who the wide receiver one in this offense is, don't we, JRich? Don't we?
Who is it, right?
Who
Talk
is
to
it?
The people.
Who is it?
Who is it, right?
It's Odunze, man. It's this one.
You were so hyped when you saw the Mahomes getting all the passes. You were like, oh, baby, we're back. Even though DJ Moore got the first target, you weren't concerned. You knew it's a long game. Not worried. Odunze leads the team in targets, yards, and I think receptions as well.
This is a very easy call. I don't know why so many people are still like blinders on with this one, but this is about as clear as day, man. Odunze is going to be the leading pass catcher for this team. Like he is. He's going all the consistent beat report out of Chicago all off season is that's the guy. In the final dress rehearsal, that was the guy. I believe he's going to be the guy. That doesn't mean Moore is not going to be good, but him going 14 spots ahead of Odunze is blasphemous. It is absolutely and utterly ridiculous. So please draft Rome with full confidence. Other side of the ball, JRich, Patrick Mahomes. They were out there.
Bro, they were so good.
Jay.
They were in mid-season form out there.
I know old D-Bro in the chat would take that J.J. McCarthy over Mahomes this year. I can't do it. I think we are about to get an epic Mahomesian level season. I am very... Is he one of the more underrated quarterbacks right now from a fantasy perspective? It feels like it, JRich. He was 8 for 13, 143 yards, scored a touchdown, hitting Tyquan Thornton. What is that noise? What are you doing back there? What is that, JRich?
Oh, someone's vacuuming right beside me.
There's no issues, man. The maids are coming to my house a little bit later today. You may hear that on the stream. Tyquan Thornton gets deep. You got Travis Kelce, Jay. He's been, I've told you, I love I know we all wanted him to retire at the end of last season. I'm all in Kelce this year. Kelce looks spry. It's when you got a good woman by your side, it makes things better. I know you have one.
Oh, you're not calling her the $1 billion booty anymore?
No. We don't be disrespectful like that anymore, man. You have a good woman. I love my wife, right? When you've got somebody good by your side, it just, for the most part, it makes things a little bit better. Kelce looks happy. He looks fulfilled in life. He's going to be the healthiest he's been is at the beginning of the season. I'm in on Travis Kelce. Rashee Rice caught a touchdown pass. Xavier Worthy caught one pass for 9 yards. What are your thoughts on this offense and Patrick Mahomes? Isaiah Pacheco scored a touchdown. Where are we at, baby?
I mean, they look good. They looked real good. When you got Tyquan Thornton catching 58-yard bombs down the sideline, you got to be feeling good about this offense because we know that Juju's going to be involved a little bit. Kelce's going to do his thing. Rashee Rice going to do his thing. I think the biggest concern really is seeing all these players in action, Ray. We didn't see a whole lot from Xavier Worthy. He was out there. But he wasn't doing a whole lot, and this is kind of the concern from the very beginning. We know Rashee Rice is going to get suspended, so that will open up opportunities for him, but it'll be interesting to see, like, do we get a bit of what we saw last year where Worthy was heavily involved, but it depends on the game script, and it depends on who's available, because when Rashee Rice was active, he obviously did nothing, but he was a rookie, so we can't really expect a whole lot. But we were hoping that this year, him, Kelce, Rice can all operate together and be great. Do you have any concerns about that now, kind of seeing this final dress rehearsal that maybe in games that Rice is available, Worthy will be a bit more of an afterthought than maybe we hoped for?
Well, to be fair, Rice had 2 targets and Worthy had 1. So...
Well, Rice didn't have a target get called off by penalty too?
He did have 1. I'm just at the... Just for optional, what the box score is, 2-1. I mean, Rice is awesome. I am not anti-Rice at all. I'm just very pro Xavier Worthy. I think when Rice is out there, JRich, I mean, if I had to be real, like he's probably the primary target earner for this team. And both players, if Mahomes is doing shit, he was out there running around, throwing crossbody, launching it down the field. What you need is this offense to open up. And if Mahomes is going to play like this, push the ball downfield, and give his playmakers those opportunities. Even Kelce's stuff was down the field. It wasn't like, 2-yard, just get it to him quickly. Like, he's running deep over routes, and you're like, man, they want to push this ball down the field. I think both are going to be good. I'm excited about this Kansas City offense. Pacheco won him. Mahomes won him. Kelce won him. Rice, I'm drafting him in DK right now. Suspension be damned. I'm still drafting him, right? Xavier Worthy won him. I think that's the line. Right now for redraft seasonal leagues, I'm not really interested in Smith. We'll see Thornton. I think Thornton may be worth, if he makes the 53, worth the best ball spot. But I think that's it. It's Pacheco. It's Mahomes.
I mean, if you're running with, you have to figure he's probably, a top 6 target on the team, considering he was out there with the ones, Tyquan Thornton. Like, based off the fact that he was running with the ones, with Mahomes, that probably means that there is potential for him to make the team and have the opportunity. But yeah, Pacheco was great. People are always talking about him in the chat. He looked, honestly, so good.
He looked good, man.
The question to you, though, Ray, is I want your thoughts on this because you brought it up, and I feel like I've been saying this at times throughout the offseason about this Mahomes revenge tour. They lost Super Bowl. They tooled up. They got Rice back-ish, right? Do you think that Mahomes can challenge Joe Burrow to be the top non-rushing quarterback in fantasy? Because you talked about, can he be in the upper echelon? It's going to be tough to match Lamar, to match Jaden, to match Hurts, to match Allen.
Even though Mahomes runs around a little bit, he run around a little bit. But I get what you're saying. It'll
be tough to put him in that echelon. But do you think that he could be right there with Burrow, if not have a better season than him statistically from a fantasy perspective? Because that, I think, is the line you're really looking for when you say Mahomes is going to have this phenomenal season.
I think he could, but, man, since he's offense, they're just going to throw the shit out of the ball, even if it's to the running back. I just trust that offense. Like, Burrow's just awesome. Like, I think I would probably still take Burrow. I'm not even probably. I would take Burrow over Patrick Mahomes. I would take Burrow over Patrick Mahomes. Could he challenge for it? I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no if they air it out. I just believe Cincinnati's passing attack and just what they're going to do. Their neutral pass. I mean, they're just throwing the damn ball. Like, that's what they do. And that defense is god-awful. So they're probably going to be in a lot of situations, whereas Spags and that Kansas City defense, we expect them to be much better in Cincinnati. So maybe Mahomes doesn't have to do as much on a week-in, week-out basis. Can he challenge him? I think so, but I'd still put my chips all in on Burrow being sort of that top non-rushing quarterback for fantasy. I would still put Burrow there, Jay. Another quarterback was on the field taking sacks that doesn't need to get sacked. Tua Tagovailoa. JRich, Tua was out there. Mike McDaniel said, "The hell with this offense. You guys look awful. You're gonna play." I think Tua was out there in the damn second quarter, man. Tua was out there in that game, JRich. Not playing any games. Mike McDaniel not playing any games with Tua. Tua 4 for 8, 49 yards. Did get a touchdown through that to Malik Washington. Ollie Gordon on the field. Malik Washington 3 for 41 and a touchdown. So we're not going to say anything about Jacksonville because they didn't play anybody. I mean, Miami had the starting Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips they were in the second quarter, Jay. Mike McDaniel said, the hell with this. Y'all are playing, man. Tua's getting slung around. Ollie Gordon II, JRich. No Jalen Wright. Injured, out, I think multiple weeks. He's injured. He's out multiple weeks, according to the coach and people talking out of Miami. OG2 is looking like he is going to open the season as the backup running back to Achane, and the rumors and the report out of Miami was the calf issue, no injuries, no flare up, no setbacks. Yeah. So he's on track to be out there week 1. Ollie Gordon II, JRich, we are just one season removed away from him being the RB1 in this class. Doak Walker winning running back in 23, led the country in touchdowns. 2024 down year, falls to the 5th round. I text Big Ollie after the game and was like, bro, hey, I told you at the Senior Bowl this was in your future. Don't trip about that. You're up next, big dog. He's like, appreciate you, GQ. So yeah, man, it's all good. 8 for 43, involved on the ground, looks spry. They have no issue throwing him the ball. Where you at with Ollie Gordon? And then I want to get to Malik Washington and his potential to maybe be one of those guys that could replace a Tyreek down the line if shit gets a little too wild in Miami. Talk about OG2.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie looks great, right? I think the biggest thing here, and where you were so right about Ollie, even back in April, and you said, there is a world where Ollie could be the goal line, short yardage back and work his way onto the field because he's not like any of these other running backs. And he's already shown that in preseason. He's probably been one of the better running backs in preseason that we've seen. Very consistent, always getting positive yards, not getting hit in the backfield. Even with this terrible offensive line, he's still finding success. And that's the key here, is that this offensive line is not good. You saw that, I think, on the second play, Tua got sacked in like 2 seconds because they couldn't pass protect at all. Now you have a situation where you have a running back who is more of a bruiser, can handle a solid workload, who can fill in for Achane in that short yardage stuff, especially when Jalen Wright's not playing overly well, and at least not showing it on the field. And I think he's going to have a role. Like, it's not going to be a big role. It's not going to be a fantasy-friendly role. But similar to like we talked about with Brian Robinson, why can't he be the Brian Robinson for the Miami Dolphins? And I think that's more than fair. But the problem is that the Miami Dolphins and San Francisco 49ers are two drastically different teams on drastically different trajectories, and that's the real issue here. But in terms of his ability to get on the field and have opportunity in this offense, I think it will be there. Let's say, 7-ish carries a game feels more than fair for Ollie Gordon, and I think he will actually be an asset to this offense.
Hey, man, Walt, get you a cup of coffee. Walt has been negative Nancy the whole
look
show.
Look at that profile photo right there.
Walt,
mad.
Go get it. It's Monday morning, Walt. We've got college football this weekend. We got the NFL in a week, and you just want to poo-poo every... we know it's preseason, Walt. Like, we know it's week 3 to preseason, Walt. Good God. You want us to go back to talking minicamp, OTA, shorts, and T-shirts? At least we got some ball. Somebody give Walt a virtual hug, man. I'm giving you a hug, Walt. Real talk. Just a hug. It's going to be okay, baby. It's okay. I'm hugging you. It's all good. Give Walt some love. Jay, they probably don't want to give Achane, again, much like McCaffrey. Let's keep our Ferrari. You don't drive the goddamn Ferrari all over town, JRich. I'm not driving at the Walker Hawk baseball stadium. You know that there's not paved, it's straight gravel rock. I'm taking the pickup truck over there. The wife leaves her car in the garage. It's the old GQ pickup truck that goes to the baseball game. You don't take the Ferrari everywhere. You don't got to drive it all over the place, right? You just pull it out when you want to stunt, right? Stunt with Achane. I don't need him absorbing contact in inefficient ways. He's going to run the ball. He's going to touch the rock. I'm not worried about it. But can this young running back take some pressure off of the big dog and then also have some standalone value? Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
And he's got the profile. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. This dude is built to carry the rock, to handle the workload. I think this is going to be an awesome 1-2 punch, something that Tua desperately needs. I saw somebody in the chat asking, was Waddle playing? Yeah. His ass was out there, started the second quarter. Right at the end of the first quarter, Waddle's out there, caught an 8-yard hitch route. He's out there. The starters were on the field, JRich. Malik Washington, 3 for 41. Every damn game of the preseason. I know, Walt, it's the preseason. Every game of the preseason, Malik Washington showed up. I am in Malik Washington. I think they've already said he's earned the wide receiver 3 role there in Miami. Waddle's ankles are fragile from time to time. Tyreek, who knows what's going on. Any increased interest in Malik Washington?
I think it depends on what people are asking for, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been very skeptical of this offense as a whole. Obviously, the all off season, you guys all know that. I really do think it would take a Tyreek trade, injury, holdout, whatever you want to call it. Tyreek not being on the field to really get Malik Washington unlocked. And I think that people need to remember this is an offense that historically does not use the wide receiver 3 at all. We're talking sub 50 targets basically every season under Mike McDaniel. So while, yes, I think the potential's there, I think he's shown that he probably deserves more opportunity in this offense. It just isn't a team that has used the wide receiver 3 at all. And Malik Washington has been on the team since last season, and he hasn't really seen the field at all. So I'm just curious, do they really have a plan for this guy? Or is this just another guy who's going to be on the field, not getting any opportunity like we've seen for the past 2 years under Mike McDaniel? He's a great talent, though. He has that ability. Everyone remembers the draft video when they actually drafted him, how excited Mike McDaniel was to have him. And it seems like maybe there could be opportunity for him. I'm just not necessarily going to go out and trade a 3rd-round pick to acquire him because I just don't know if the opportunity is actually going to be there for him in this offense.
Yeah, this is an underrated comment. Leave Walt alone. Jesse's probably pissing him off. JRich, do you know what that's from?
I do not.
Breaking Bad. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Oh, so it was a Breaking Bad reference. Okay.
Did you watch it? Were you a Breaking Bad guy?
Yeah, I watched Breaking Bad.
Okay.
I just didn't realize you were going Walt and Jesse with Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Other preseason takeaways, JRich, some notable ones that I think are relevant. Deontay Thornton. Deontay Thornton. We had talked about him right after the draft in May. I was like, hey, man, this is somebody you probably need to pick up. 2 catches, 26 yards, and a touchdown. But I think for me, the big takeaway with Thornton is every preseason game, Geno Smith has been out there every single game, even if it was just a series. You know who Geno's first couple of targets go to every game of the preseason?
Time.
It's Deontay Thornton down the field. And it finally connected. They connected, back shoulder fade, 17-yard touchdown, 2 for 26 for Thornton. I mean, he's a starting receiver. It's no Jack Besh, right? It's Jacoby Myers, it's Deontay Thornton, it's Trey Tucker in his role, and it's Brock Bowers. I think my big takeaway is, Thornton, whether it's lineup or best ball, I want a part of this offense. I want a part of, and I don't know if you know this, Jay, but back when Chip Kelly was offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, head coach, OC, Philadelphia Eagles 2013, 2014, 2015, Nick Foles in 2013 and 2014, top 3. Or in most cases, not even number 3. He was number 2 or number 1. But top 3 in percentage of 15-yard passes and 30-yard passes. They're pushing the shit out of the ball downfield. Top 3 in the NFL. This is all while, JRich, LaShawn McCoy was putting up all-pro seasons running the ball. Leading the NFL in rushing in, I believe, 2013, 2014. Top 3 in the following season. So Chip Kelly, and I know this was 10 years ago, but we know they're going to run the ball. We know Ashton Genty is going to get his. We know Bowers is going to do his thing. But one of the things that I've noticed watching this offense and looking at what Chip Kelly did in the past is they are pushing the ball downfield. Even Brock Bowers, when he caught that pass in San Francisco, it was 20 yards down the field. Deontay Thornton screaming down the field. This is going to be a fun offense. I'm excited about watching this Raiders offense this fall. So Deontay Thornton in that game, big takeaway. The other side of the ball, nobody played for Arizona. So I don't have a lot of takeaways from that
no
one.
Love for Bam Knight, right?
Man, Zonovan Bam Knight was he was a guy a few years ago, but it didn't didn't quite materialize, JRich. So no, I'm going to leave Bam Knight out of the conversation for this one. And I do see some people in the chat, they were talking about Odunze Gadsden getting in the end zone for the Chargers. Good for him.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. He played well, man. He made some big catches. I thought Gadsden looked good, but like, what am I expecting for him this year?
Nothing, man.
Not much.
That
Not
Chargers
much.
offense is pretty sad.
He looked good, though. He looked very good in that game. Jalen Reagor also had 33 yards in that game. Just
throwing it out there.
Putting it out.
Where is he on the depth chart, Ray? Is he
just putting it out there?
Receiver, fifth receiver?
I don't know, man. He might make that roster. You know, don't you talk about old Reagor. That was your boy back in the day. But Gadsden had 3 for like 40 something, I think, and a touchdown. It was 20. He looked good. I think Gadsden is that play that I'm waiting until next year. You got to get Conklin and Big Montana out of the picture. But I think Gadsden, he's going to be the perfect in Dynasty when he's not starting, when he's not on the field. Just throw him into a deal and just stash that Gadsden for down the line. I do like him. We didn't talk about Sky Moore getting traded to San Francisco. That is your boy.
There's a reason for that.
Well, he got traded to San Francisco, so there's that. They're still in need of pass catcher help. Jay, we had 3 more games that I thought there was some interesting stuff in some players, okay? Let's start with the Browns game, okay? We got to start with the Browns game, JRich.
All right.
We saw them all out there.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We saw everybody. Flacco, Gabriel, Shedeur, Huntley, no Kenny Pickett. That is your boy. Kenny Pickett.
That is my boy.
I was your boy.
The Kenny Pickett preseason Kool-Aid. I was drunk.
That one
Kool-Aid.
is your boy. Okay. From the Rams side, there are no takeaways.
Just like
zero.
every single week with the Rams.
There are no takeaways. No takeaways from the Rams. But the Browns, they had to run their big dogs out there. I mean, everybody played. Even Judy was out there. He didn't do anything, but he was out there. JRich was targeted. They played their guys. Joe Flacco was up first, Dillon Gabriel second, and Shedeur Sanders third. Joe Flacco was named the starter. He's the starter. I don't think we need to talk about that, okay? Do you want to talk about Dillon Gabriel first or Shedeur?
I'll leave it up to you. I rewatched that game this morning because I didn't watch it live, and I watched it after the fact, but I rewatched it this morning, and I came to one conclusion. But I do want to start with Dillon Gabriel because he did get the start over Shedeur in terms of being the backup. I thought he looked really good. And it's just from the standpoint of doesn't have the strongest arm, knows his limitations, plays within himself so well. And we talk about this all the time when it comes to quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks. This is a quarterback with a ton of experience. Threw the most touchdowns in college football history, tied with, I forget who he's tied with, but he's tied for the record there. Started a ton of games, played in a ton of systems, ton of schools, very intellectually sound quarterback, and it shows on the field. But was it enough, Ray, to where you think that's the guy, if he starts, he could be the guy for Cleveland? And I think the answer for a lot of people still is no. But then Shedeur comes up, and it wasn't so great from Shedeur. And I think the hard part for me watching Shedeur Sanders and watching Dillon Gabriel is that you watch Dillon Gabriel, he's quick, he's decisive, and he knows what he's doing with the football most of the time. And it's not to say that Shedeur doesn't know that, because I don't know the reads, I don't know where they're supposed to look, etc.
Right.
But you can't help but say to yourself, Shedeur, throw the ball. Like, just get the ball out. Like, stop standing around looking for guys, looking downfield. Like, get the ball out. Like, you just watched Dillon Gabriel decipher the defense quick, got the ball out of his hands, stepped up in the pocket when he needed to, and threw the ball away when he needed to. And all Shedeur did was, most of the time, drop back, maybe get sacked, maybe run around. 3.5 seconds later, there's no play to be made because the read was 2 seconds ago. And so, for me, I can't help but think, if you could put both these quarterbacks together, you would have a damn good quarterback. Because Gabriel's decisive, and Shedeur is a bit more escapable. Like, his ability in the pocket is a bit better.
That's the thing. I don't think it is. And that was a big knock on him coming out. It was my knock. Throw the goddamn ball, man.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I see people this morning saying 4 of the 5 offensive linemen that he played with in the game were cut by Cleveland. 4 of his 5 offensive linemen were cut, which, it's true. You can't deny that. But there were moments where he could have just threw the ball away, right? I have been his biggest supporter, right? Biggest fan. My thought watching the game was he looked like a quarterback that just watched the 2 guys in front of him play well. And he knows they played well. Like, you're not
That's fair.
When you're on the field, there is no, I don't know what they're doing. Damn. Dillon Gabriel drove the goddamn ball 8 minutes down the field, right? Just completion. There wasn't anything big and flashy, but he moved the ball all the way down the field. Sanders looked like in that moment, Jay, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to call ace, a spade. He looked like somebody that took his ball and went home. I'm not blaming it. He looked like when things weren't going well, the body language was piss poor. Why are you running back? What are you doing? Like, why are you running backwards? Like, you're not fast. That's not your game. You don't have more escapability. Like, every sack there was a play where he escaped a sack, and it was a good play. He escaped the sack. He spun around, threw the ball to number 36. I don't even remember his name. I think it was 36, a running back,
when he dropped it, yeah.
It was behind them, and he dropped it. And Shedeur just...
But it was after he probably broke 3 tackles, span around.
I get that, that ain't what I need to see. And then they followed him to the sideline, and he went to the bench, and he sat down, and he was just like this. And I think it was Njoku. I'm watching it. It was Njoku that goes up to him, and I don't know what the hell he's talking to him, what he's saying, but that was just my honest assessment of it. I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh man, this is a bad look. It wasn't like they both played, and even Kurt Warner said, man, I wish I would have seen him get the same level of opportunity. Kurt Warner came out and said it was a much different team he played. All those things can be true, but the same thing I'll tell my damn 5-year-old, right? Control what you can control. Control your attitude and your effort. Control your controllables. To me, it just looked like somebody who was pouty after things didn't go his way. And you took 5 sacks, dude. You took 5 effing sacks in the preseason. One of them, which was a strip sack, right? Yeah. Because you won't throw the ball. I was pretty disappointed, man. I'm just going to be honest with you, Jay. I thought Dillon Gabriel looked sharp. And the entire time, have I not been consistent on this show, on this platform, saying, I believe when the Browns do put in another quarterback, who's going to be the one that goes up? Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. He was drafted higher. I think he's the one taking the reps in practice. I was pretty disappointed in Shedeur, man.
Yeah, he struggled. And I think, like you said, it wasn't great to start. And it kind of got worse the longer and longer he was out there. And he made more and more mistakes. And he was longer and longer in the pocket. And maybe to your point, after all of that happened with Flacco looking, reasonably well, then of course Gabriel, he missed some throws. He had some drops up from the receiver's end. But I think the hard part for Sanders is you can clearly see the chemistry between Gabriel and Jamari Thrash. Like, these guys have been working all offseason. That was like his go-to guy pretty much every play that he needed something. And maybe Sanders doesn't have that on offense, but excuses aside, like, he might have been big play hunting because he knows he has to outdo what he just saw from Dillon Gabriel to kind of get, maybe it's more of a social media hype thing, I don't know what it is, but maybe he was just big play hunting, and that's why he ultimately took all those sacks.
Yeah, I see somebody, Blake said, all true Ray spitting facts, playing with the 3s and even 4s is tough. Be tougher. Like, I'm not saying the environment was great. Yes, forward him up, but just go control what you can control. Even if he threw 6 passes, right? Even if they're not big play, just get it out, make the easy read, finish the game, 5 for 6 for 45 yards. The checkdowns were there. We don't need you. Like, those are drive killers. And every one of those sacks, I don't care. Like, you just cannot do that, man. You can do that. Weeze, I love you, man. But I can't vibe with this. I think he was pissed Gabriel got in before him. I take it as more of competitiveness over pouting. Gabriel's been in before him all goddamn summer. He's been in front of him all summer. Maximize your opportunity, man.
Yeah, he would have known that going in already, for sure.
I just was not. I was a little. I think he should have controlled some things a little bit better. Does he make the team? Yeah. Is he going to play this season? I bet you he does. But ultimately, I don't know if the quarterback long term is on this roster. We'll see this season. We'll see this season. But I thought Dillon Gabriel, I'm going to give him his credit. He executed the command of the offense in preseason versus backups. He executed the offense much better than Shedeur did, despite the situational circumstances around who was on the field, Jay. Another game and another player I want to talk about. One that, dude, I was on your side, JRich. I was rolling with Big Tim Patrick. I'm like, hey, man, Tim Patrick is the 3 in this offense. Isaac TeSlaa. JRich, another touchdown, downfield work, 2 for 41. He's big. Listen, TeSlaa, JRich, that's the wide receiver 3 in Detroit. And what a lot of chatter I saw on social media was TeSlaa is going to make it so much so because apparently the Lions are going to be strapped for cash soon. I'm not a Detroit analyst, but I heard there's a lot of
Gibbs.
I heard there's a lot of people they got to pay. Aiden
Hutchinson,
Gibbs,
and Gibbs.
That J-Mo might be on the move depending on what he does, right? So could TeSlaa be that number 2 wide receiver, not this season, but moving forward? What are your thoughts about him? Because even when he was getting hype, I'm just like, I'm not sure. Tim Patrick's not playing. He's the 3. TeSlaa may open the season as that team's number 3 receiver. And I know for fantasy, that's not great, but that's just one injury away from more opportunity. Where you at with TeSlaa?
Ray, I think we failed the people a little bit with TeSlaa, honestly.
I think so too.
We have given ourselves our flowers for players like Ramondre Stevenson when we changed our tune quick enough to where people can kind of get back in. We, from the very beginning, we've been detractors. We haven't been sold. To be fair, in Mobile, like, he showed some flashes, but he wasn't anything crazy. And we were like, who the hell is this guy? And no one ever really heard of him. And then he gets drafted to the Lions in the 3rd round. And we're like, why do we care? Like, he's a player that we didn't really like, weren't really that in on. Maybe he's just be another guy in Detroit. But, they traded, 3 third-round picks to trade up to go and get him? He's a Detroit kid. He's obviously going to play hard for them. And their wide receiver 3 is wide open right now because Amon-Ra's not an outside guy. And if he can beat out Tim Patrick, which it seems like they can, there will be opportunity on this team. Like, there's going to be opportunity. Is it heavy for fantasy? Absolutely not. But there's absolutely a world where he could be a featured piece in this offense. And especially if you're in some deep best ball leagues, why not have him? Because clearly he can score touchdowns. Clearly he's great in contested catch situations. So why not take a couple shots on him? And it may be expensive now based off where he was previously, but I still think the price tag is probably worth it to where you want to just have some shares just in case he really pops. Yeah, man, we've got to reverse course on that TeSlaa. Like, scratch the record, run it back. Yeah, man, I'm drafting him in best ball, and what he's shown in the preseason, it's not J-Mo like, right? J-Mo's got he's got an 8th gear, Jameson Williams. I mean, he's just ridiculous. But TeSlaa being able to get down the field and win vertically, really good to see that. Really good to see that. And any update on Sam Laporta and his undisclosed injury? Can you just check while we get into the last game? Other side of the ball, Woody Marks scored a touchdown. Dameon Pierce was the starter though in this game. Like, he was the featured back. You're not buying into Dameon Pierce, JRich. He's shaking They hate Dameon Pierce. Like, they hate him. They had every opportunity to give him the ball at multiple stints, and they just never did. So I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'm just a hater, but I'm just not really buying into it. I don't see any updates on Laporta, by the way. Nothing.
Okay, nothing on Laporta. And I saw some people in the chat right before they were talking about Dillon Gabriel's height. I'll just say this, man. I've got a picture in my phone, side by side with Dillon Gabriel. We were chopping it up at the Senior Bowl. If he's 5'11", I'm 5'10".
You're a 5'11".
Yeah, and I know I'm not 5'11", so I just...
And the worst part is, didn't I take the picture?
Yeah, you took the
So
picture.
y'all both look...
Yeah. If he's 5'11", I'm 5'10", and my wife ain't letting me get away with that one, right? Unless I got them Dad Brooks on, the walkers that I take to Disney. Dude, I don't care how bad my knees get, I will never go with the knee brace on. You will not see OGQ with the knee brace. If I got to do that, I'm wearing pants, JRich. You will not. I got the Achilles. I got a little ankle thing on, but I'm not wearing the knee brace. I got the Brooks. The sole is about that thick, man. You gotta have that sole thick. But if he's 5'11", I'm 5'10". I'm just in my neither here nor there. So you're in on Woody Marks. 3 catches, 20 yards in the game too.
Yeah, he'll have a role in the offense, and the question really is just how big of a role it's going to be. And so my question to you, Ray, honestly, is like, how much do you care who starts for the Houston Texans? Because to me, if it's not Joe Mixon, like, I just don't know if I care. Like, maybe Nick Chubb can be something.
I want
Woody Marks.
I want Woody.
If you want Woody Marks.
I want Woody.
But
I want Woody.
He's not going to start. We know that.
Probably not.
But do we even care who the starter is? Like, if it's Nick Chubb, great. If it's Dameon Pierce, cool. Who cares? Like, I just feel like this team revolves so heavily around Mixon that when Mixon was gone, they struggled so much to run the football that now they maybe try to replace him a bit with Chubb or whoever it's Pierce out there. I just don't know if I see much upside from whoever that starting running back is in Houston, especially with how bad the offensive line is. Like, it's just a terrible offensive line.
Yeah. Jimbo said, Ray, never say never, brother. LOL. And then JR said the cane is way. I'm not that damn old. I don't need a damn. I'm not that old. We ain't going Kane status yet.
You already got your scooter, don't you?
I got rid of. I actually donated the scooter to another fallen member of the Achilles tendon in the neighborhood.
Oh, did you give it to Ike?
No, Ike tore his after me. He already had his own scooter. I gave it to another individual in our subdivision, man. He tore his damn Achilles tendon. I said, come get this shit out of here, man. Jay, the last game that had real fantasy implication, Jets, Eagles, nobody played. Cowboys, Falcons, nobody played. Jadon Blue played and hurt his ankle. Titans, Vikings, Cam Ward played a few snaps. Van Jefferson was out there looking.
He's going to go touchdown.
The van was rolling. The van was flying, man. Van was flying. Ravens, Commanders, nobody played. The Colts and Riley Leonard. I thought old A-Rich was going to play, but A-Rich was not out there.
Yeah, because was it you who reported?
I reported it. Fake news, GQ. But one we got a lot of fantasy information was New Orleans, Denver. God, we are going to finish with New Orleans, Denver, the Saints side. I'm just going to tell you what beat reporters out of New Orleans said. We are up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Neither Tyler Shough nor Spencer Rattler should be the starting quarterback week 1 for the Saints. Those are the reports. Neither of them should be out there playing quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. It looks like Kendre Miller has secured that RB2 role. Chris Olave, 3 targets, 29 yards. Shaheed, 2 for 14. Devin Neal, going to be a backup running back. The reports are neither of them should be playing quarterback, but one of them will. I don't know which one. You defend your boy. Do you care? Finger guns himself, Tyler Shough. Does this one matter?
Does the quarterback position matter? Slightly, only for the pass catchers and for Alvin Kamara. But I did watch Nick Underhill's stream after the game, and him and his people at NewOrleans.football, they think it's going to be Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler obviously got the start in this game. A lot of people thought Shough did play a little bit better with the twos, but that's kind of been the case this whole preseason. Whoever's played with the twos has kind of looked better regardless of who's been starting, but that's because they're going against the twos, right? That makes a bit of sense there. So in the case of Shough, like, again, he ran for a touchdown, threw the ball okay, but I just don't care, man. Like, both of them stink. They should be trading for Jameis Winston, but the Giants don't want to give up that Jameis.
Giants can't give up that Jameis. He's a good... Yeah. He's a good culture setter in that locker room.
They can't give up that Jameis.
Hunter Joe Green said, you know who should? Derek Carr. That's who should be the starter.
Retiree. He retired. They didn't cut him. He retired. He quit on them, Ray.
Okay. Well, the other side. Hey, man. And these comments in here about this damn age, man. Somebody said, Ray, you got white hairs. Do you have any white hairs in the mustache? Not yet. No white chin hairs or mustache hairs. And JR Enterprise talking about some old 60-year. I'm not that damn old. I'm birthday's coming up, but I'm not that old. Not yet. The other side of the ball, JRich, I think that's where we're going to end the show today because there were takeaways. Because Sean Payton, he was much like Mike McDaniel. Y'all asses is playing. Bo Nix, you're playing. Courtland Sutton, RJ Harvey, you're playing in the game, right? Marvin Mims, there's no more bench rest for you. Get out there and go catch some passes. Broncos had their guys out there for about 4 quarters. I mean, they were rolling out the starters in this game. Bo Nix finishes 10 for 14, 110. Touchdown. Hits Courtland Sutton. A lot of people still on the fence with Bo Nix. JRich, I'm all in. We were dead wrong.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is about to really be the death. He's going to kill the show because we said if he ever makes a Pro Bowl, we're not going to do it.
Oh, he's definitely making the Pro Bowl this year.
I don't know about definitely. AFC is tough.
AFC is tough. But the problem is they got
the alternates. They get a million alternates.
For sure,
A million. I am very nervous that Wake Up will cease to exist once Bo Nix is that fourth alternate for the AFC. But he was out there and looked good, Jay. I'm in on Bo Nix this year. He was incredible last year as a rookie. I think he's only getting a bit better this year. RJ Harvey, 3 for 4. People still a little not all the way in on Harvey. Not as much as we've been. Not sold on that Harvey. And then the pass catchers. With Devon Vele out of the way, there is absolutely room for a Devon Vele. There's absolutely room. With Devon Vele out of the way, there's absolutely room for Pat Bryant. There's room for Troy Franklin. And I believe Marvin Mims is going to have a role. He was out there 100% of the routes with the ones. However, 7 targets got funneled Courtland Sutton's way. The Denver Broncos paid Courtland Sutton a whole bunch of money. He finishes with 4 for 83 and a touch. Well, they paid
that much money.
Well, they gave him a contract. They paid him, is what I'm saying. Yes. They paid him. He's feeling good going into the season. Sutton is one of those veterans that just kind of I feel like he goes under the radar. He's 29 years old. He'll be a 30-year-old wide receiver this fall. But Courtland Sutton, when he's on the field and playing, he's very good. He's a good quality wide receiver. This is the Would You Rather segment because he is sandwiched in a very interesting range of player, JRich. Very interesting range. So give me your thoughts on Denver's offense as a whole. You've already talked about how good their O-line is. Defensively, they're going to be good. How are we feeling about Nix and the ancillary pass catchers and RJ Harvey? And then we'll Would You Rather Courtland Sutton because I can make a case he should go up, and you may make the case that he should go down some. We'll see. But what are your thoughts on Denver's offense?
I thought they looked sharp, right? They're playing the Saints, so that's always good because usually good for offense when you're playing the Saints. But no, Bo Nix looked great, and that's where the thing that people forget, and I bring this up all the time, is that he did throw 29 pass touchdowns last season. He did have more than every other rookie quarterback, and no one expected that from Bo Nix because he can still run the football as well and very effectively. So now, they're obviously rejigging the passing attack. Pat Bryant probably will be involved. We expect Marvin Mims to be heavily utilized. We expect Troy Franklin to have a role in this offense, maybe as the third wide receiver, maybe as the fourth. We'll find out. But the biggest question mark is still, how is this rushing attack ultimately going to unfold? Because people still don't really know what the split between Dobbins and Harvey is going to be. And we may never find that out until the games are ultimately played. But from a passing perspective, this team looks ready to go. Like Courtland Sutton, 50% target share. Now, again, it's preseason game. It's limited action.
I get it.
But even still, you can't help but think, man, we all know that Courtland Sutton's kind of a guy. And if he gets the volume, he could be a guy. And he's never really had a quarterback. And it's funny how these are all the same cases you make for Terry McLaurin until he got Jaden Daniels, and then Courtland Sutton gets Bo Nix, and you're like, it's just Bo Nix. But what if Bo Nix is a guy? And he's a dude that can funnel targets to Courtland Sutton, and he can be a 140, 150 target guy. He could be very, very good for fantasy purposes. And I don't know if I'll raise him up because I'm not the biggest Courtland Sutton fan.
Okay.
But I do think there's a world where he could absolutely return on ADP and be a steal right now for fantasy drafts.
Well, you got to trust the Trinity, JRich. I'm over here on ddfantasyfootball.com. 7.25 score. He's only getting you about 14 points per game, which is good for wide receiver 24 on the season. Based on his historical usage, his median range outcome, about 15 points per game, which is right around where he did it this year, a little bit higher. High-end, top 10 percentile outcome for Sutton this year is about 18 points per game. When you look at his expected fantasy points per game last year, 18 points per game. That was number 9. That was good for number 9 in the NFL. Courtland Sutton, last season, number 5 in the NFL, 43% air yard share. Second in the NFL in air yards, getting the ball down the field, 25% target share. He was 13th in targets. JRich, Courtland Sutton currently right now on Underdog is ranked the wide receiver 25. So outside of the top 24 wide receivers. So my question to you, Jay, is this the veteran value? And which would you rather have this season, fantasy football in 2025, Courtland Sutton or DJ Moore?
I'd rather have Courtland Sutton.
Okay. DJ Moore's one spot ahead of him. Okay. So Courtland Sutton, DJ Moore. Would you rather Courtland Sutton or Terry McLaurin?
I'd rather have Courtland Sutton.
Okay. JRich, I know you're not as high on this player as I am, but right now, if you had to bet on one of these players outscoring the other, Courtland Sutton or Xavier Worthy?
I would take Courtland Sutton.
All right. Here we go. Courtland Sutton or DK Metcalf?
So this is the line that in my head, I had to think about hard because my case for Metcalf all season has been volume. And I do think he'll have more volume than Sutton, but I just think I have to bet on what I expect to be slightly better efficiency and better quarterback play. And that's why I'm going to take Courtland Sutton.
Okay. He's one spot ahead of DK Metcalf. So you are on track here. Now it gets a little tougher. I've got two more names for you. And then one bonus. Would you rather have Courtland Sutton or Jameson Williams this season?
I think the way that I play, I would take Courtland Sutton because he's going to be more consistent.
Okay.
I'd probably lean into consistency a little bit.
Courtland Sutton or George Pickens?
As bad as Dallas is, man, George Pickens could be really good this year.
He's going to be good.
I think he's the same bet as J-Mo to some extent, so I am going to take Courtland Sutton.
Okay. And then the final bonus, no, we'll stop there. So what you would do, he's at wide receiver 25. You would move him ahead of Moore, ahead of J-Mo, ahead of Terry, ahead of Pickens, ahead of Worthy. That would put him at wide receiver 20. So you would move him up 5 spots. I think you would take this player over Courtland Sutton, but we'll see. Teterow or McMillan?
So here's my problem with Pickens, and here's the context that I didn't bring up during the Would You Rather that I'll bring up now. Courtland Sutton from week 8 on had 6 or more targets every game. 11, 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 9, 6, 9, 7. And that's when Bo Nix was really cooking. Early in the year, he really struggled. Rookie quarterback, just getting his bearings. And Sutton, as a result, also struggled. But in the second half of the season, I mean, come on. He scored 6 touchdowns from week 10 on. 6 touchdowns while getting 6 or more targets in every game, going over 100 yards multiple times, over 70 yards every game, but 3 of them. Like, he was very, very good last year, especially in the second half. So if you just take that second half and what we expect probably for hopefully a full season after getting paid, like, he's probably a little undervalued simply because he started a little slow because Bo Nix started slow.
Okay.
And the same thing could be said with McMillan. I like McMillan a lot, but if you're asking me, who am I taking, Teterow, McMillan, or Courtland Sutton? I think I'm just going to lean into the consistency of Courtland Sutton, of what I'm going to get week to week, and just take him over Tet McMillan.
Dude, the people in the chat are saying Sutton over McMillan as well. They're saying Sutton over T-Back. Okay.
I think I'm buying it. I think this told me.
Courtland Sutton or Devontae Adams?
I got to take Adams. I got to take Adams there. I just have to.
Okay.
He's just too good.
Last one. Courtland Sutton. I'm not even skipping. I'm just going up the chain. Courtland Sutton or Garrett Wilson?
I mean, how is it not Courtland Sutton?
How is it not
Courtland Sutton? He's going to be really good this year. And he's got double-digit touchdown upside easily. Like,
we'll see.
And I think that
Garrett Wilson Garrett Wilson's wide receiver 17, Jay. So you would have Adams over Wilson for sure. And then you would have Sutton behind Adams over Garrett Wilson. Patrick said he has Courtland Sutton as wide receiver 19. You would have him right there as wide receiver 18 based on this. Evans and Jigba, Marvin Harrison ahead.
I think it sounds expensive, but again, the way the draft board is falling, if you can get Sutton as a wide receiver 2, rather than, again, paying up and taking him at a higher price tag, but yeah, I think he can finish right in that range. Like, And he can finish higher than that, but I think it's more than fair to just like trust what you're going to get from a volume perspective weekly from Sutton and a hopefully even better version of Bo Nix in 2025. And that could really push the ceiling of Sutton a lot higher than people are projecting right now.
Yeah, Daniel said the answer lies on who you trust more, quarterback, Nix or Fields. And for me, it's
easily Nix.
It's Nix. And that Fields is going to score fantasy points, but you're talking about throwing the ball, getting it to your receiver. It would be Nix. Wow. I honestly wasn't thinking that. I love Sutton too. I think he's a big time veteran value this fall. I am in on year 2 Bo Nix. So yeah, move Courtland Sutton up the 2025 redraft board. All right, Jay, we got a super chat I want to hit real quick from Ricardo. Pick 2 to start the season: Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Ricky Pearsall. Pick 2.
DJ Moore and Garrett Wilson. Would you pick Pearsall over those guys?
I like
Pearsall.
Pearsall.
I think he's a tier below, even DJ Moore. But if you like Pearsall, go for it.
I mean,
think you got to pick Wilson though.
He's drafted way below him. He's
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver 33. DJ Moore, what was that? Wide receiver 24.
One of them has to be Wilson.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the efficiency and stuff in Fields, but one of them has to be Wilson.
Has to.
I would just bet on DJ Moore. Probably.
I'll go Wilson and Pearsall. I'm not, you know how I feel about what I think the Jets' offense in general is going to be, but I kind of am in on Ricky Pearsall this year. Hit the music, man. Appreciate y'all being in the building. I'm on Yahoo today at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're me and Harmon, talking through whatever the show topic is, but be there. Be there today on Yahoo. JRich and I, make sure you follow us on Bleacher Report at your boy JRich on BR. Follow me at RayGQ inside the Bleacher Report app. We've got content there every Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday, we're talking rookies, 2026 class, college football, some NFL on the channel, all that good stuff. So make sure you pull up Wednesday, same time, same place. JRich and I will be here. Thank you, chat. Appreciate everybody being in the building. We had a good show today. Wake y'all asses up on Wednesday. Have a beautiful Monday. Make today great. Be awesome, everybody. And we shall see y'all on Wednesday. JRich, anything you want to say to people before we get out of here?
Ray, today's the day. Newcastle's going to beat Liverpool, baby. Let's go. 3 o'clock Eastern time. Be there, baby. It's going to be a good game.
There we go. There it is. Liverpool over Newcastle. We'll see y'all on Wednesday.
No, Ray.
Oh, my bad. Wait, Newcastle over Liverpool?
I can't believe you just did that to me.
My bad.
That's foul from you. That's foul from you. You can't. Oh, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Nah,
sorry.
Just end the show. That's
sorry.
Insane.
All right.
Insane.
Check out all the content. We'll see y'all on Wednesday. We out. Peace.